Britt Baker and Reba did a promo, and it was the first decent promo on the show, but they were talking about Big Swole and whether she was going to return from suspension. Is Big Swole the worst wrestling name ever? Ever?
Do you remember there used to be a different Big Swole? Do you remember that?
I no.
Well,
not.
It may be the worst name ever, but maybe the worst stable ever. So we talked about stables earlier. Was Master P's No Limit Soldiers in WCW. And there was a guy named Big Swole.
Oh, good Lord. All
it's
right.
Silk the Shocker's birthday. Don't remember that? You don't remember that?
Next match. Hikaru. What? Go ahead.
Next match.
Next match. Hikaru Shida versus Diamante. Shida won with a knee. Moving on. Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero match. Or match, not match, but promo. Vicky said a couple of words. I can't believe that it's not bad having an ex-WWE star like Vicky Guerrero on your program when she's a manager and she's got experience. She's a veteran and she's got one of your stars in her stable. She's, so let her speak. People know who she is. Let her put her talent over. She said a couple of words, and then Nyla Rose picks a color out of a hat, which indicates her partner for the tag team tournament they're going to have with the women. They're going to find 16 women. And she picks purple, and they say, oh, somebody else picks some purple. And then here comes a girl in, Aryan. And she says, I'm back. Aryan is back. We've been watching this fucking program. Has Aryan ever been there to begin with? To come back?
I think her name is Ariane or Ariani. I'm not even sure.
They called her Aryan.
She used to be, I forget what name she had now. She was one of the Funkadactyls.
What? Oh.
In the WWE, Brodus Clay had Naomi, and it was a Cameron, and they were the two girls who did the dancing. And her most famous moment was she was on, if it wasn't the last season, it was one of the last seasons or versions of Tough Enough, where Steve Austin was the host. And she was like one of the last people in the ring. He had to decide who was going home. And he goes over to her and he says, what's your favorite match of all time? And she says, Alicia Fox versus Melina. And
my God.
And Steve Austin's mind explodes. He goes, who? And she got sent home. She ended up losing, but she won in the end. She became a Funkadactyl. So,
all right. Anyway, they once again here's somebody else.
And they're doing Battle Bowl. It's the women's
lethal lottery.
Tournament. The women's tag team tournament isn't even women who get along who are going to team up. It's just pick a color. Whatever color you get, we'll find someone that also picked that color.
I'm sure there won't be any style clashes in that fucking fiasco. And also another case of somebody's been on the other show, so we automatically assume they're household names. Everybody knows who the fuck they are, or who's their real names are household names.
She hasn't been on the other show in years.
Okay, but there you go. She comes, oh my gosh, I'm back. Well,
Did she say I'm back? I don't remember.
She did say I'm back. And I wanted to say, well, apparently we all quit waiting. Don't pull up no chairs. You may not be able to stay, lady. What the fuck? It's like goddamn Mildred Burke walked in and everybody, hallelujah. Anyway, best part of the show was next with MJF walking to the ring. All right. Now we say they listen to the show. MJF, the State of Wrestling Address. Like the State of the Union address, the podium. Obviously, I like this. Obviously, MJF is a fucking major talent, but this was even good for him. And it was 7 minutes, and he never stopped. It didn't get old. He didn't flummox anything. Great delivery, all the things you expect from MJF verbally. Tremendous content, the inflections, the facial expressions. But I can see now why my Twitter blew up. Did you write this for him? No, I didn't. I don't know if I'd have written it this good. I certainly couldn't have delivered it like this, but wrestling on the marquee, where is it? Gymnasts, bad leadership, play wrestlers, cosplay, and that's a stone cold fact. Thank you, Max. Appreciate it. I won't even charge you for using all of my shit. But he got heat, I'm sure, with all the people in the locker room. And I assume he doesn't care, and bless him for that. But he got heat with all the fucking people that really like this fucking mess because he's saying the same shit that I'm saying, and it's all true. It's not like this is revolutionary and I made it up. This is what everybody that knows anything about the wrestling business is saying, just often behind these people's back instead of like me out in front of their fucking face where they can get a good whiff of it. He destroyed Jon Moxley verbally. Dictator John challenges Moxley to the title match and then announced his candidacy as AEW World Champion with the tagline, "We deserve better." And but the problem is it's going to make him a babyface because fans that sit through this show do deserve better. They could be giving them better. They just don't know how, and they won't listen to anybody. But that was the best 7 minutes of their television show ever, I thought. What do you think?
I wouldn't go that far. I think MJF is extremely talented on the mic. I wish he had just come out and done this as a promo. I hated the whole WWE Raw. Let's get a podium, and it's a fake presidential conference. There are people in the ring we've never seen before that we assume are bodyguards or lawyers or something. And I didn't like that. I even hated ending it with, I nominate myself for candidacy. I didn't like that. I thought, other than that, it was fantastic, but I would have taken some of the shtick out of it.
He gets away with shtick because he somehow has the ability to make you think that he really means this shit, even though you know he's being an asshole on purpose.
If he didn't have
I admire that.
If he didn't have that podium and it was just him and Wardlow in the ring and he had a microphone in his hand.
You're right. That would have been.
And he was leaning into the camera saying the exact same things from the ring. You can't tell me that wouldn't have been more effective to make him a heel.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, I guess I'm just so used to it, but it was very WWF-ish with the podium and the set dressing. They have to go too far. But I loved the promo.
Great promo.
And then, I honestly can't see them switching the belt off of Moxley. So now, unless they get real creative, and Lord knows when they get creative, worse things happen. They're going to ruin MJF's undefeated record having this fucking match, and does nothing for Moxley and just hurts MJF.
Unless, and I'm not encouraging this or advocating for it, unless the Wardlow turn that they've been teasing on and off for a while happens during that match. If it's a case of Wardlow costing MJF the match, you can immediately transfer MJF from the title picture to wanting to go at it with his former bodyguard.
Yeah, but that's so premature. Because like I said, it can't be a bitter divorce when you've only been dating 2 weeks. The best thing to do would be switch the belt. Can you imagine how much heat that prick would have with that fucking belt and beating Moxley? And then have the bodyguard behind you to fucking take care of it? They could get some fucking heat that way. And then you find a stipulation to neutralize the bodyguard and get Cody in there and let Cody have the belt. Because at least Cody could have world title matches instead of Moxley's glorified combat zone Ian Rotten bullshit.
See, I agree with you, but I disagree with you. Moxley doesn't need the belt. MJF getting the belt and having a heel run with the belt and having his bodyguard, I think that could be phenomenal. And you'll actually have a heel world champion getting legitimate heat from their audience. I would not put the world title on Cody right now. I just really
not
wouldn't.
Right now.
I wouldn't do it in the foreseeable future. He doesn't need it. He has the TNT belt. Let him. He created a belt so he could have a belt. Let him have that belt and let him continue to do what he wants to do, whether it's wrestling generic indie guys or trying to elevate some guys. But have MJF with the world title and let him establish himself with the belt for a while before you even think about getting Cody in there.
Yes, of course. What I'm talking about, this could be a year. But if you did pull the trigger, put the belt on MJF, he's got the big bodyguard to back him up. He gets a ton of heat because all the fans of their company will legitimately hate him because he does make fun of all their fucking goofy wrestlers they like. And run that for as long as you want to, but eventually a babyface needs to triumph. Good always triumphs over evil in the end. Eventually, hopefully November 3rd, that will happen the same way. So who would it be? Would it be Paige? Well, Paige would be great, but the problem is Paige is not experienced at having those brilliant long world championship style matches. Cody is.
Oh, Cody doesn't have that much experience having those matches.
He's the only one that's had any of them in AEW. I'm not saying that Cody should, if they had fucking Terry Funk available in his prime or whatever, or goddamn any number of people, but I'm talking about who can be a babyface world champion in that company and have the matches work with some of this specious talent. Jericho was a good heel champion. Cody'd be a good babyface champion. I don't know anybody else that has the experience to be able to fucking do it.
I think you hit on it. Adam Page. I think Adam Page has more ability to get over with their fans and more of ability to get new people potentially in the door with his character than anyone else. And I think him and MJF...
I will agree with you there. He won't have the dramaticness that Cody has in his matches, but I agree with what you just said.
The fans, if they could get the belt on MJF, give him a nice little run where you can't wait to see him lose the belt. At the same time, you have enough time then to get the tag belts off Adam Page, do a program with him and Omega. Hopefully they don't put Omega with MJF at this point, but Adam Page goes over Omega, so now Adam Page is elevated to another level, and then you build up him and MJF. People will be dying to see him win the title from MJF. I think that has more potential to get over with that fan base than even a Cody match. And that's not to take anything away from Cody, but I just don't think he's the right guy for that.
Then now we know, ladies and gentlemen, what they're actually not going to do, because we've said it and they can't make us right.